If you are a collector, if you are an artist, I have the app and website for you. If you haven't gone to a site called NeonMob, you might want to go check it out. It is a great collecting site. It's a great site for artists to go and submit their work and share some of the passion that they have for their craft. You can go on and create your own profile. You can set up your favorite cards as your backdrop, and you can click on the cards and find out a little bit more information. Who created the card, what set it's from. You also can go through the different series that you collect and continue to try and finish it. Opening up the packs is always fun to see what cards you get, and sometimes you even get a free extra card in the packs that you open. Going through, finding some of those gems of the past that you may have opened, clicking on it, finding out, again, the backstory behind it. You can even click on the artist's name, and if you've developed a relationship with that artist, you can even look at their artwork and friend them, adding anyone that you want in the collecting world on NeonMob to your friend list. Many different series, popular series, new series, series that are coming soon. There literally is something for everyone to collect, no matter where your interests lie. This month, a lot of Halloween sets. Almost every day we have a new Halloween set. Again, you can open up the packs, check out the cool artwork, and yeah, sometimes you may get duplicates, but then you can trade them to other collectors for cards that you need in that set or in other sets. And one of the cool things about NeonMob is you, the community, gets to vote on future releases. You can go and check out which sets are currently in production, find one that you like, click the little like button, and those that are selected by the community will become future card series. If you are an artist and you want to submit some of your work and hopefully create your own card series, there is a section that details everything you need to know, a creator's handbook with all the details about the criteria that you have to meet. You can also sign up for the NeonMob Discord, a great Discord community where you can find trades and have cool chats with other Neon members. And once you have your ideas ready, you can submit the pitch and hope that the community wants to see more of your work. NeonMob is a free app website to use, and if you're really enjoying it, you can become a pro member. Yes, you can open exclusive packs, you can get more free packs, protect your login streak, and so much more for becoming a Neon Pro member. All the details are right on the website. Let's get on to today's show. I hope you enjoy it. Let's find out a little bit more about one of the NeonMob artists. Welcome to Simulation Gaming Digital Realities on YouTube. Today we have a very special guest. I always like to interview creative, innovative, intellectual people that are driven with a certain passion. And with my involvement with Quid and with NeonMob, I'm coming across a lot of people that have a lot of passion for art and for collecting as well. So today we are going to bring on one of the artists that is on NeonMob. She already has one series that is up and another series that is currently underway. And if you want to support her, we'll let you know exactly how you can do that later on in the episode. But I would like to bring on our guest today, and that is Elka. Elka,
Hi.
how are you doing?
Hey, doing fine. How about you?
Oh, wonderful here. We are in different time zones, folks. We are in different parts of the world. So we've been able to arrange, a time that is not too early for me and not too late for Elka. So for those of you that do not know Elka, Elka is from Germany. and I am from Canada. So I'm in Alberta, Canada, and Elka is from a place called Dresden. So just to give you an idea, all the way the other side of the world in a community known as Dresden. And Elka, have you lived in Dresden all your life?
No, I live here for about 2 years now. I lived for a lot of my lifetime in Cologne actually, but I was born close to the east of Germany in Gera actually. It's like 1.5 hour away from Dresden. But yeah, I was a little bit stuck in Cologne for a long time, and with the first chance I got, I just came home. And yeah, now I'm in Dresden, enjoying this really, really beautiful city with a lot of culture and old historical buildings and a really cool mentality among the people, despite some rumors in the news. But most of them are really, really friendly and really open. So if you ever get a chance, take a look yourself.
Well, and it's funny that you should mention this, and I didn't tell you, Elka, this
Hmm?
off screen or before we came live, but one of the cool things about today's world, and yeah, there are a lot of struggles and a lot of issues going on with a lot of people in the world, especially in the last few years. But one
Oh
of the
yeah.
cool things is that people like us can connect from a far distance apart. And again, Edmonton to Dresden, if this was a live interview, one of us, Elka, would have to take a 12-hour trip to get to
By
the
plane.
by plane, exactly. And that
Oof.
doesn't include layovers and, delays and lost luggage and all those kind of things. So,
Swapping
it's very
planes.
yeah. So it's very cool that we can connect very quickly just through, click of a few buttons. Isn't that pretty cool, Elka?
I think it's by far one of the coolest things in our society by now. The
Yeah.
entire structure of the internet and how you can connect with people and find people who enjoy the same things as you do and share with them. And there's technically no border anymore and no how to say no obstacles to meet one another.
Yeah.
Despite the internet connection being maybe slow or down, but most of the time it works.
Well, yeah, exactly. And we don't have to, worry about passports and, health requirements and all those other things. It's like, hey, you want to chat? Let's get on a video conference and let's do that. So
True.
again, we are a far distance apart. My last interview that I
Mhm.
sent Elka and she watched was with Bobby, who is also an artist on NeonMob, and I'll leave the link to that in the video under in the description. But he was from Australia, and it was very cool that I could connect with him
True.
even a greater distance apart. And right now, just to give you an idea of our climate in both cities, in Edmonton, we are currently at about 17 degrees Celsius. And I know there's a few countries that still use Fahrenheit. You can do the conversion. But Elk and I use Celsius.
Yeah.
And in Dresden, right now, it is 13 degrees Celsius. So a little
Not
bit
so far
cooler.
from another.
Yeah. So are very similar temperatures, and it's about 8:30 in p.m. in Dresden right now, and it is just afternoon where I'm at. So again, we've got about an 8-hour time difference. And Elke, you mentioned a little bit about the history of Dresden,
Yeah.
and this is what I didn't tell you before, but for those of you that are history buffs like me, because again, former teacher that taught social studies, and Elka, you love social studies, right?
It's
History?
absolutely interesting, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think it's also important to understand what happened in the past to foresee and better take on things that come in the future.
Yeah. And with Dresden, Dresden is a very unique city in history because during World War II, after World War II, the Allies really targeted a lot of European cities, the enemy cities, so to speak. And so the Allies targeted cities like Dresden. And, it's controversial because there's those that think it was, a war crime, that they destroyed a lot of these cities after the fact by dropping all their, extra ammunition that they have left over. And there's other people that believe that it was a necessary act of war and it was justified. I'm sure, Elka, you've kind of heard both sides of that story too, living in Dresden.
I think I even heard about news that this exact events are now actually judged as a war crime because they specifically targeted cultural buildings and places, so to say. Uh, it had a lot of taste, like they wanted to wipe out things that were important to the people here, to break their mentality and to break their hopes and everything that they got left, because those buildings were absolutely no important places for the war, and especially with the timing, it's really hard for me also to believe that it was anything like necessary.
Yeah, and again, it's a difficult conversation to have because
Always.
it, you don't want to offend people and you don't want to, sometimes rehash the past, but it was a horrible situation. And like you said, was the purpose to demoralize the
Absolutely,
Germans?
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Because people are proud of their city. Like you, for example, also got places in the area where you live where you say, I like to go there, for example, when I need to recharge my inner energies, when I want to meet people, when I want to show people who are my visitors important places or beautiful places. And with the entire architecture of Dresden, there were so many really beautiful buildings. I don't know, no matter how often I go into the older part of the city, there's always something new that I see, and that's just breathtaking, especially when you take the time to go inside of these buildings, take a museum tour or something. It's really it gives you something, and it makes you
yeah,
proud to be part of the city.
yeah.
So,
And so, this interview, there's a lot of cool things about, meeting you and getting a chance to interview you because
well,
in
thank you.
2019, I, as part of my school travel club, was
Yeah.
able to go to Europe.
Oh, really?
And yeah, we landed in Frankfurt and then
Ah,
we went east, we went across Germany, we went to
mhm,
Berlin, we
mhm,
went to Austria, Vienna, we went
mhm.
to Budapest, and we got to see a lot of cool things. We even went into Poland and got to see some of the war crimes that were committed there in
Yeah,
some of the
yeah,
camps.
yeah.
And my two favorite places in Germany that I went to, one was Potsdam,
Mhm.
where the World War II conference was held, and the other was Dresden. So I
So
have
you
been in
have first-hand
Dresden, Elka.
experience.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just going to show you, and I'm sorry,
Yeah.
folks, this is kind of like my vacation in 2019, my trip to Germany. But maybe, Elka, I'll show you a couple photos and just kind of,
Mhm.
because you talked about the history and the buildings and the sites. So what are we seeing here?
I'm not entirely sure. It might be the theater of Dresden
Okay.
or the Dresden, how is it called? Swinger something?
Yeah, there are so many, cool buildings that, like, sometimes you go to a city and they have one or two cool buildings, but Dresden has so many,
All over the place.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And we came across this, and I think there was a place called Bruhl's Terrace. Is that like a section of Dresden? But
Yeah.
Martin Luther, the statue.
Yeah.
Um,
The Church of Woman,
yeah,
to translate it. A
the
really,
church.
really important building, especially in this context of war, because they rebuilt the entire church, even with the pictures inside of the church. Like you imagine when you go inside of the this building, the entire walls on the inside are covered in religious artworks, and they rebuilt it and recrafted it and redraw it like centimeter for centimeter, the exact same way
Wow.
it was before the war actually happened. And it was really, really big news when they, I think it's not that long ago, 2015 or something, 12, 15, when they reopened it for people to go there.
Okay, yeah, very cool. And again, this is one of the cities that was bombarded by, bombs towards the end and after the war. And Dresden's a city where half of it was, just destroyed to rubble and
Yeah,
is rebuilt. And then you have kind of half that wasn't affected as much. So it's a very unique city. You get the old and you get the new all in the same city.
true.
And of course, yeah, and of course, going to Germany, the bratwurst, right?
Yeah,
We have the food trucks and we have the food carts and the hot dogs, and Germany's well known for the bratwurst and very
this
delicious.
especially this one, the Thüringer bratwurst, is from the state that I was born in, from Thuringia, it's called. And there's so much war ongoing between people who are like, no, this has to taste like this, and this recipe is actually not the original recipe, because sadly they never copyrighted the name. I mean,
Oh,
who thought that you need that? And so you can meet Thuringia Rostbratwursts like all around in Germany, and you will probably just get something out of it despite going to the real state of it.
and can you translate this for me? What does the sign say?
It says Thuringia Rostbratwurst and what's wait a second.
Deftig
um,
Suppen.
it's translated with hearty soups.
Okay.
Like intense flavored, like with a lot of probably beef in it and potatoes, and like a really good old stew, I would say.
Okay. And you know what was really cool in Dresden? Yes, they had the bratwurst, but they also had the
Yeah.
Canadian steakhouse. So for
Did
those
did
of
you
us
eat
that
there?
no, we didn't. We were
Ah,
just,
sad.
touring around, but we came across this and it was like, oh, we're so far away from home, but they have something like this right in Dresden that was so cool and made us feel a little closer to home. So yeah, I thought I would
Yeah.
show you that as well. Well, let's get into the main part of the program and
Yeah, sure.
talk a little bit about you and your art and
Oh
what
god.
inspired you to create. And remember, we're here to, try and motivate and inspire,
Yeah.
other young artists because it is a tough gig, right? It is tough to break through in the art world. And my belief is that one of our purposes here is to create. We're
Yeah.
here as human beings to create, to show our passion towards something. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that say, I don't like your creation, or why are you doing that? Or that's a waste of time. And you know what?
Shall I tell you one of my very own experience with those people?
Yeah, but it's
For
everywhere, Elka. It's so whatever you've gone through in your process of creating, so many others have as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And you've struggled and gone through and climbed up that cliff. You haven't completely fallen over, and I give you a lot of credit because so many artists or people that create do fall off that cliff, right? And they just give up because of the attitude and pressures around them. So we'll get to that a little bit later, but
Okay,
want
okay.
to
Mhm.
talk a little bit. I'm just going to bring up again your artwork that is on Deviant Art. Many
Yeah.
artists are on Deviant Art, and of course, Elka has a huge collection of artwork there. So I'm going to give the floor to you and let you just kind of
Mhm.
talk a little bit about how you got involved in art, what inspired you. So I'll give you
Yeah.
a couple minutes as I kind of go through and show the audience some of your art.
Okay, sure. Where to start? At the beginning, I guess. So yeah, first off, I by any means no educated artist. Like I never had a step into an art school or something because at the time when I was in an age where I would should have decided or could decide what to do in my life, these educations were really expensive, and YouTube was just like in the coming. There was nothing like this really cool tutorial and workshop culture that you can now enjoy on YouTube for free. And I worked through many different jobs, but art always was a part of me, and it was even connected deeper. Like I think I talk for many people when I say creation in any kind of and form, may it be music, may it be literature, may it be art in and of itself, is something that is for the soul. It comes from the soul and it gives the soul. And so this was always my personal safe space, so to say. When things got rough around me, then art was my way of coping with most of these things. In personal stories, in world building, in creating characters from experience or sometimes from events that I went through. And so art was always there. And I probably tell you nothing new that many artists always have this kind of force that pulls them towards creating because it's just inside of our soul. I always call it the artistic soul part of us to my community. And like for many others, for me, working in different other work fields was quite an experience. And to be honest, I would not want to miss it, but it was not fulfilling, not at all, because it was lacking something. And it might be a little bit of a confession, but I think many of you can relate. When you find yourself at a workplace that does not feed your soul in the way it needs to be fed, then you just find yourself sitting in a corner in any given free minute and thinking about a story you're working on, a song you're writing on, a picture you want to create, and you're just like inside of your mind and just feeling your attention being focused rather on that than on anything else. And
Hey,
it was the absolute same for me all the time. So
yeah,
uh,
very cool. And, just going through your art, I always say that I can't even draw a stick man. And to see this talent just blows me away that artists like yourself and others can not just create one of these. It would take me probably a year to do just one little thing like this. And you've created what? How many? Do you know how many are part of your collection right now?
the collection I want to publish contains 72 designs, which I created over. I don't know. Some of you might know the event Smaugust. It's actually a combination of Smaug from The Hobbit and August, like Inktober and all of these other event months. And it was a total of 5 months over 3 years and roughly a minimum of 750 hours that I spent with these.
Wow.
And by the time I concluded this year's Smorgast, I was just sitting there and realization hit me with the fence on my face. And I was just like, oh my goodness, 72 designs over at least 750 hours of pure work and coffee and gray hairs and anxiety attacks and everything you can imagine, from the best feelings to the worst feelings. It just is all part of the creation process, and no matter if you feel it at some point, it's totally fine to feel it. It's part of it. It's not nothing unusual, not unnatural, and the very important doesn't make you a bad artist if you're sitting in front of your artwork and you're just like, oh my god, I'm 30% in and this looks shit. It's totally normal. It's fine. Really.
Yeah, and I love hearing the story. I love hearing the background and the beginnings, where you've come from and how you got to where you are right now. When I look at your work, I guess as a non-artist, I create my own way by doing videos and that
Yeah,
kind of content,
absolutely.
which is just as important in this world. But when you create your art, something like this piece here,
Hmm.
is it digital? Is it hand drawn? Is it a combination? Can you kind of explain to the audience
Sure,
how a
sure.
piece like this, right from the beginning until the final stage?
To be fair, if you get to know me better, you will recognize that I am a pure digital artist by now. And the gallery you are having open there, all of these artworks uh, found their creation from 2020. No, from 2019 to now. Right, this way. March 2019 to now. So 3 years and a bit is the time frame of all these artworks. And I decided to go digitally because to be honest, financial reasons. Because I wanted to create artworks fast with not needing to worry about if I could purchase my next stock of materials, quality paper, pencils, whatever. I really like to work with Copic markers. Many of you will probably know these by today, but they're so expensive. And the problem, realistically talking, if you want to make a living from your art, then you have to consider that those let's say the price of your material also have to be price of your commission, basically. So either you pay it from your own saving pocket, or you, and that's the only thing that is sustainable over a long time, have to give those costs to your commissioner. And I didn't want it that, because I know how it feels to not have a lot of money, despite maybe having a small job as a student beside everything, and you want to purchase something. You always, in Germany, we say we are flipping our coins twice. It's like a quote about you rethink your purchase wishes at least 2 times before deciding to go for it or not. And going digitally was like opening every kind of style that I want to create, from something that looks like 3D to watercolor, something. There's so many really good programs and brushes and filters and settings. You can create anything today with only digital media. And for me, it's simply fast. It's fast. I know it by now, up to a point that I sometimes find myself struggling to actually draw on paper. So yeah, and
Yeah, and that's
when hmm?
I was just going to say that's the last artist I interviewed said exactly the same thing. Bobby said that once you go to digital art, and you learn the process of it, it's very difficult and time consuming to go
Yeah,
back to paper art.
the problem with digital art is that it's not logical by any means. Like when I'm sitting in front of let's say a canvas with real paints and real brushes and stuff, I don't know why, but I have this natural understanding of how things work and what I have to do, how I have to put the lights and stuff to make it look good. But especially when you start with digital art, it's just like it doesn't make any sense. It's not
Yeah.
making any sense starting by the way your PC is converting colors and what happens when you stack colors above each other with certain settings and stuff. So it's really just normal to feel completely confused.
Well, I think Elka, an artist's life constantly is confused, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't there a lot of confusion?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have seen a T-shirt that
You're
I
always working through something, and there's always some sorta, obstacle that you're trying to overcome. So when
I
we
have
look
seen
at
a cool T-shirt, that I actually wanted to purchase. It was standing, "My job title is artist, but my job is top secret. Not even I know what I'm doing." And I just felt that a lot.
Right. Now, when I look at your art, and again,
Mhm.
it's fantastic. Like, no matter
Oh,
what
thank you.
anyone has said in the past or in the present, coming from a non-artist, I love it. It's fantastic, and I think you do have a really, fabulous talent as an artist, and never give that passion up. What I wanna ask is, do you
Mhm.
remember, and if it's on the gallery, some of your earliest pieces and that we can kinda show the audience? Are they on the gallery here?
No.
No? So
Um,
these are more all the ones you have posted here are pretty much from the last 3 or 4 years then?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And how
Um,
about when you were in school? Was art obviously probably a favorite subject of yours, or is art something that kind of became a passion later in life?
I don't know. I've been creating art since I can remember. The first picture that I remember was actually a watercolor drawing of a fox, and it was around 5 or something like this. So to me, art class in school was really boring most of the time because we were many students. Typical size of this class were 30 people, 32 people, and our teacher was just completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of students and the different levels of skill and motivation. And for many people, art, especially with the subjects they give you when they try to teach you things, were just plain boring. So
So,
I would say it was not quite the most quality of art education you could get. Let's
okay.
call it this way.
And let's face it, I mean, that in every school in the world, there's always those classes where maybe you're not inspired as much as other classes, right? It could be the content, it could be the teacher, it could be, the curriculum. And
Most of the time is it stands and falls with the teacher. You can make every subject interesting if you as a teacher know how to and actually want to. So
yeah, and as an artist, you have that intuitive, you know that if the teacher is passionate about teaching and the subject, that rubs off on the student.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So in art class, what did you feel was what were you the best at? Was it pencil sketches, watercolors, sculpture? What did you find,
Mm.
physically that you were the best at?
To be honest, the as I said, the quality of my personal classes where I went to was not really high. So we never had things like sculpturing and stuff. And I think my teacher really gave up on this on his job because most of the time it was like, yeah, I have some motive here. Like for example, I can remember we had to do a pencil drawing um, of some cans, some metal cans. Like he had this photo and he was like, okay, turn this into a pencil sketch and pay attention to how the shadows align. And this was like the most out of it. I'm not even sure if we ever painted with acrylics or something. Can't remember, to be honest.
Well, anyway, you were able to take an experience that, wasn't overly positive in the classroom, and it didn't deter you from continuing on in art. So, again, just
Absolutely.
another little obstacle where you didn't have that motivation and passion from an art teacher to create, but you still had that fire within you later on.
Always, always.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I lost most of of my time in math class by actually doodling things. Maybe art
So,
is the reason why I'm not so good at math. Who knows?
oh, okay, yeah. You know what? That is a universal issue for a lot of students. Students tend to be either really good at math or struggle with math. It's just
Yeah.
one of those subjects that, whereas, English, or in your case, German classes or social studies or history, everyone can kind of perform at an acceptable level typically. But math and physics, and chemistry, anything to do with science and math, you tend to get that separation, right?
I think now that we are talking about this, I remember when you also in the last interview that you sent me, you talked about talent. And I have some actual struggles with this word because talent, by definition, refers to something that you're good at without being taught, and especially it's something that you're actually born with. But I think it would be helpful to the artist community as well when we start to refer on talent by simply the capacity of how fast you learn something, how natural you learn it. But you still nonetheless have to work for what you want to achieve later, for the skills you want to polish. Telling someone you're so talented is a nice compliment, but most of it is pure hard work, discipline, many hours, many night shifts. I have worked so many nights beside going to school and beside being on class and stuff to buy up my skill set. It was not something that was given to me. The thing that was given to me was the joy of creation and the fascination for creatures and the hype I feel when I create something. But everything you see is solid hard work and hours and hours and hours of failing, of redoing, of throwing away sketches, of throwing away entire sketch blocks sometimes because I was not happy with what I saw in it myself. Um, so I think most people also have this feeling that they can only start an art career when they have like the master class level of skill set. And if they don't get this in a very short time, then they're just not talented, and then their wish to become an artist is just failing or something around that. And
Uh,
I think that's not true. Everyone can actually come to, for example, my skill level is not something you can not achieve. You can, but you have to go the same way. You have to do the hard work. You have to study the things that build the foundation of my gallery, from anatomy to polishing to how to use even the programs, how to use them, how to get fluent with brushes and stuff, how to set lightings and how to choose a good color palette, for example. Those are all things that I not have gotten as a gift or something. It was really research, 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 watching, copying from masters, and trying to somewhat jiggle myself into my own style. So if you want to get into an art career, you absolutely can, but you have to put in the work. That's the deal.
yeah, very well said. And I completely agree. I think everyone has talent. Everyone has the ability to create.
Yeah,
Everyone can contribute, but
absolutely.
you have to have that inner drive. You have to have the self motivation, and you have to be willing to do that without other, people patting you on the back or other people
Yep,
driving you. It has to come from within you. And everyone can create something as amazing and talented as you've created if they're
absolutely.
willing to put the time, the work, the effort, the passion. Everyone can.
There was a quote actually by another digital artist, and he said, "The first thing you have to learn is be your own fan, because if you cannot love your own project and your own creations, how can you convince other people to enjoy it? Because they will always feel and see through your own artwork that you're not standing behind what you're doing. So
Yeah.
if you're good with skills, but you're lacking the drive of the community, maybe try something different.
Yeah.
See what
Very,
makes you happy.
very well said. And that applies to, I think, any job. As a
Yes,
teacher, if I am going in to teach some content and I'm bored with it, the kids are not going to find it exciting,
they
right?
feel it. They
Yeah.
absolutely feel it.
Or if I show a video that I don't find exciting, they're not probably going to find it exciting. So,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. You have to be your own fan. And yeah, that quote, excellent. Good job. Um,
absolutely burned into my soul, really.
yeah, and it's funny how sometimes a set of words can inspire us and motivate us. And, could be a quote, it could be a little message, it could be a
Mhm.
fan comment that they leave
Yeah,
you, a
yeah,
little
yeah,
message that can make someone's day, week, month, correct?
absolutely. One
Yeah.
other quote I might throw into the pot here is discipline takes you where motivation never will bring you to. If you're based on motivation solely, you will most likely fail at some point, and then you have those negative cycling of thoughts that you are a failure because you could not stick to your goals and your wishes. But if you want to pursue an art career or any career, make a plan, set goals, and then work with discipline every dang day, especially when you don't want to. Because your brain will always be like, oh, I could play video games with my friends now, I could go outside, or I could only just chill on my bed and let time pass because my day was so hard. And your brain is intelligent. It wants to save energy. It doesn't want to put in more energy when it's already feeling exhausted and stuff. So if you tackle this beast of an art career with discipline and actually a plan for yourself, then you will reach your goal with a very high percentage of chance.
Yeah.
Motivation is fine, but discipline is the key you need to master.
You are an extremely well-spoken young lady. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And, for all the young artists that are watching, um, take what Elka has said. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling like you've got no chance or no hope at creating,
That's the
work.
moment you have to go ham, completely ham. Tackle it.
Yep. Yep. Just keep going, keep fighting, keep doing what you love to do, and eventually it will come out ahead. And no matter what
Absolutely.
anyone says, no matter if it's your parents, your friends, your boss, you are your best judge of your talent. And if you fall in love with your creation, you can make it work. Because if
Yep.
you love it, there is someone else for sure that is going to love it, probably even more than you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump ahead to your
Mhm.
NeonMob experience, Elka, because again, I want to persuade other young artists or older artists to get on to NeonMob and to create and to submit artwork. There are so many fans of art like myself that go to NeonMob and we open up packs and we collect these cards and we
It's so
trade
tempting,
them.
right? Oh, I got a
Exactly,
new
yeah.
pack.
And it
Yeah,
takes up a lot less room than if they were in your house. I'll tell you that for sure.
I can
But
imagine. I can imagine.
let's look at your Neon Mob submissions. First of all, just tell the audience how you got involved. How did you come across Neon Mob and kind of walk us through that first submission process with your Year
Mhm.
of the Tiger set?
Oh, it was actually more of an how to say an accident that I stumbled upon NeonMob because I on DeviantArt saw an artwork and I was just like, okay, this looks interesting. I clicked on it and I read through the description and it was stating this will be an artwork of my NeonMob collection. I was just like, NeonMob? Never heard of that. So I jumped on the page and I was just reading through the descriptions and oh, it's a trading card game. That's cool. And the deeper I went into this topic, I realized, oh, that's not simply a trading card site. It's a site where like every artistic person by any level can publish sets for free or with monetization and stuff. And I just felt like this is actually really cool because on the one hand you don't have to buy physical cards and they are stacking in your home, and you also have this high price for things because back in my school day there was the Pokemon area and Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon stuff, and everyone was collecting cards, and it was really cool. It was cool, but to be honest, from that point to today, I even lost my cards at some point. Uh, Probably while moving at one or the other time. And here you have it every time with you. You cannot lose them. You have the joy of opening packs. You have this worldwide community you can interact with. You can find new friends simply by collecting cards and trading and everything. It's again one of those borderless things. And I just thought this is actually a place that I want to get into, and if I can contribute my stuff to it. So,
Yeah,
hmm.
and this set, so the set that is already on there, which is
Mhm.
sold out now, it has passed its limit.
Yep.
And, I have to admit, Elka, that I did not have this set before it sold out. I am new to
Oh, fun.
Neon Mob. I've been on for probably about a month and a half,
Ah,
and
okay. Mhm.
so many different sets on there to collect. And so when
Yeah.
you agreed to this interview, I said, you know what? I need to go find Alka's work. And so I came across your cards. Unfortunately, they went out of print in September, so a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, and
I
I didn't
think
have any. And so I thought, well, I need these. If I'm going to talk to Alka, I need her cards. So fortunately, the community is such a great community on Neon Mob. And so on
yeah,
Discord, on,
absolutely.
on the
Super
Neon Mob,
friendly.
yeah, super friendly and willing to help out. So I went on Discord and I just posted, hey, can anyone help me out? Can someone send me some trades for the Year of the Tiger Elka set? I'd love to have them.
Ooh.
And within 30 minutes, Elka, within
Mhm.
30 minutes, I had enough trades to
The
complete the
complete
set.
stack. Oh my god.
It was, this
Ooh.
community is amazing. And I
Absolutely.
was the 808th person to finish,
Mm.
but I finished in 4 minutes and 22 seconds because of the community.
This is a really great example of a community that is willing to give and
Right.
to be in some kind of friendship manner even with people that you're not really connected to yet. So I really love this place, to be honest. And I also tried to see if there are other pages like NeonMob, but none of these felt like NeonMob does in any kind of means. So I stick there, and I decided, okay, with my next set, which is really important for me on a personal level, I will not go elsewhere. I will stick to NeonMob and I will do my best to create it in a way that people will really find it enjoying to go there and to collect the
Yeah.
cards.
It is. It is so fun and so low key and so less stress. And I just want to shout out, Christy and JD603, Deborah, um, Jojo Bear,
Mm.
Chris, Transcat, all these people that helped me finish the set so that I had the color version. Because if you don't own the card, you
Mm.
don't get the color version. All you get is a black and white copy of it. And so that allowed me to show off the set. And,
Yeah.
I love horoscopes and
Me
you
too.
know, astrology, and I love that kind of connection to
Mhm.
the human world. And mine was, I am the year of the goat. And
Ooh.
I love how you have the description beside each of them.
Mhm.
And I read the description and I thought, that really does apply to me. Like, as goats are generally believed to be gentle, mild mannered, shy, stable, sympathetic, um,
Absolutely.
strong creativity, perseverance, professional skill. Like, it really does. And that's why I
It
think I love
fits.
astrology and things like that, because generally the description of whatever comes with my birth year and date seems to be fairly accurate. Can I ask you what
Same.
your animal is?
My animal is actually the monkey. And
The
as a
monkey.
small fun fact on this series, I have a lot of people in my real life, also my community, who were really, let's say, disappointed about which animal they got when they first found out. For example, the monkey is one of them, or the goat, or the rabbit, because everyone was like, "I want to be a tiger. I want to be a dragon." And so while creating this series, I always had in mind I want to create a design that a person who has this zodiac could actually be proud of and show off. And that's why the goat, for example, is so spiky, so metal, has multiple eyes and stuff. And the monkey is something later on I recognized, okay, it has some Wukong vibes from the Chinese mythology. And the reason why the dragon is a goofy noodle soup dragon is exactly that. That I drew it on stream, and my community was like, "Yeah, dragons, they're always so high on their horse because they got the dragon." And I was just like, you know what? We're gonna turning this one into a funny one just for the sake.
And that's the thing with astrology is sometimes we don't want the one that we should have. We want the one that is cool or has the best
Yep,
character or the animals that
the
we
best
like.
reputation.
Yep. And just
Yeah.
reading your description for the monkey, I can tell that it's, and I don't know you overly that well. I've known you for maybe 24 hours. And the description, I think, from what I know of you, fits very well. Strong willed. I can see you as a very strong willed young
Stupid.
lady.
Let's call it that way.
You're creative. You got that creative part. You're able to accomplish things and solve problems. Great thirst for knowledge. I think you are a lifelong learner and want to always pursue that. So, yeah, I'm betting that during this interview there are going to be neon mobsters that go to the set and read their description. They're
I
going to do
hope.
some research.
I
So
hope.
not only do you inspire people to collect, but I think you're going to inspire people to research a little bit more about some of these things that you create.
To be honest, everything that makes a positive change is really needed at the moment. So if you go there and you find your zodiac and read into it, or maybe identify with the design overall, I would be really happy. That's also a reason why I included the 5 element tigers at the end of it, because each of them has some kind of good wish for the year 2022, which is ending in about 2 months, but doesn't matter. When I published it, it was February, I think. So the time of the Chinese New Year, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And for all those that are watching and are not on NeonMob, very easy. It is on Android, it is on iPhone, it is on the web, and easy to sign up. It's a free app, it's free to collect. There is also an opportunity if you want to subscribe and become a pro member, which has a few benefits. You can do that as well for $99.99 American a year. It is a great value, a great deal, and you will find yourself not only collecting Elka's sets, but you will find yourself collecting many other talented artists that range from pencil sketches all the way up to AI created art and
yep.
everything in between. And Elka, let's talk a little bit about the one you're working on now.
Mhm.
That is Smaugist, year
Yes.
1 to year 3,
Oh my
70
goodness. So
70
many gray hairs.
72
Mm.
designs. And
Yep.
those of you that are watching that are on NeonMob, go find this and click the like button, just like I did there. Go like it, because every like that it gets pushed to being created that much sooner. The community chooses the sets. So
Also, a
artists
thing
submit work.
that I really like about NeonMob is that it's really about what the community wants, not what someone in the background finds is best. You decide what goes there, and you decide what you get for free, even.
Yes, we decide. And so, if you enjoy Elka's work, if you enjoy this interview, go show some support. Go click that little like button, leave a comment, very easy. Just
No.
like that, you can leave a comment. And artists really appreciate all little comments and messages that they get.
Yep.
I know I tend to try and reach out to artists and let them know that, hey, your collection is really cool. Great job. And I'm sure you appreciate it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the thought process that went into these designs here. Now, are these designs on your Deviant Art site?
If you open the folder that I linked you,
Okay.
you can find all of them stacked.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
So
we'll tease the audience and show a couple of them. Um,
we could.
yeah.
I
Oh,
the first year of Smallgust, I combined the topic of zodiacs, of the classic zodiacs. There we could go all the way down and see if you, for example, connect with your classic zodiac too. In the second year, I made a little how to say, freestyle list of things that sound cool, and then I just improvised on the design. Like I have the portal zipper, for example. I just wrote down this name during the creation of the prompt list, and when I came to this design, I just thought about the game Portal, and this went into the creation of this design. So yeah.
very cool. Yeah, very cool. I think we're all excited to start collecting these. And so there are going to be 72, hopefully, cards in this set, or
Yep,
okay.
absolutely.
And you get to something that I'm not really overly familiar with, but when
Mhm.
it comes to selecting which are commons and uncommons, is that the
Mhm.
artist's choice?
It is actually, it is. You put in all the cards you want, and you write a description to them, and then you kind of give them a little marker that says, okay, this is a common card, a rare card, a super rare card. I forgot the name of
Okay.
what it.
A variant, a chase.
Variant,
Yeah.
exactly.
So again, with all these designs, is there an Aries? Because I'm an Aries, so I always like to find out a little bit about my, Zodiac. Do you have an Aries
Yeah.
card?
I'm just wondering why it's showing you maybe not all designs, because it looks a bit like it on the screen. If you want, you can go to my DeviantArt page,
Okay.
and then you stay on top, click the right button, exactly, one more, and there the white dragon design that you see in the folders. It's now on the left, exactly.
This one?
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's the Smallgust of 2020. So and there you can find your areas.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Aries right there. Nice. Nice. So did you come up with you did some research and kind of came up with all these different components, the color palette that you used, and
Mm.
how did you choose this color palette, or
Yes,
did
I
it
did.
come with
I
the
did.
design?
Um, It mostly comes with the design. Like when I work with Zodiacs, in this case, I read a bit through what are character traits of the Zodiac, and then I try to simply channel what I feel into a design. For example, with Piskies, it's a Zodiac that many people also don't like as much. My sister, for example, because they think it's kind of lame and boring. And I created Piskies in a way that it's actually thrilling to imagine to encounter this design, exactly this one. One
Oh,
back,
oh,
yep, this white one. And during this year of Smaugust, I also had a lot of story going on in the artist description, and my community actually started to grow over this event, because I was how to say, part of my own project is like a hunter guild, and they are encountering all these creatures, and in that way I combined my joy for writing and my joy for art, and each and every one of them has a little saying on the
just
I
on the
forgot my words,
little quote, a little,
on the artwork.
yeah,
Exactly. And yeah, so
very cool. And so the ones I'm showing right here, those are going to be part of the set.
yes,
Oh,
I plan to create a mock-up, an overall ground design where I put all of these in, create a new background, maybe pitch some colors, because as I said, these, for example, are from 2020, and then they will be released on NeonMob with more new text and more, hopefully also funny things on that. So my plan is that every time you open a pack and you get a new card, then there should be something for you that really gives you joy, that gives you this feeling of, okay, I got a new card, but I did not only get a new card, I also got a bit of story, a bit of fun, a bit of fear, maybe even, because creatures can be kind of scary, and yeah, it will give you something.
yeah,
That's the plan.
I think this set's going to do extremely well. It's visually great to look at. There's some text on that people can read. And do you have a timeline of when you think it might be released, or do you have no idea about that?
To be honest, as soon as I get the go from the devs, I will start to rearrange the images, and I hope that I can start to publish them around mid of November. But it really only depends on when I get my go, and
Okay.
then I will just throw myself into the the repolishing process. So as soon as I can.
Very cool. Very cool, Elka. Again, please go to NeonMob, download the app on your digital, on your device, on your desktop. Sign up. It's free. You don't have to buy the membership if you don't want, but you can. It helps support artists and it helps support creating new content. And go and click that like button. And the more likes that Elka gets, the sooner that we can see some of this great work on Neon Mob. And looking down the line in the future, is
Hmm?
there a possible third set that might come out?
Absolutely, because I really start to enjoy making card sets, and see that people enjoy actually collecting them. So I think there will come more in the future.
And have you heard
Uh,
from Neon Mob collectors? Have you gotten little messages and positive little
yeah,
pieces?
yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
cool.
someone wrote me after I made my introduction post for this set. This person wrote me that they actually started to go on NeonMob, collect and create for themselves after finding my Year of the Tiger artworks on DeviantArt and my link to them over DeviantArt to NeonMob. So this was really cool.
Cool. So it got your name out there, got some more exposure to your artwork.
Absolutely.
Well, this has
Absolutely.
been I've just loved this interview. I've been captivated. I've been interested in the stories you've had to tell. Elka, how can people
Mhm.
support you in terms of commission kind of work that you do? I noticed on your Deviant site you do have some pieces that people can purchase. Is that for
Yeah.
the digital copy that they can purchase, or is it for a physical copy?
At the moment, there's only digital copies because of, let's say, the problems that we had in the past with getting good quality paper. It sounds ridiculous, but it really is that. But I plan to. I mean, I maybe can say this as some kind of thank you from my side. One plan is to create actually a book of these Smorgos dragons in terms of Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop RPG settings, so that you get the artwork with some stats and some story background, and actually can use it for D&D if you feel like it. This is the plan that hopefully can proceed in 2023. It actually was the plan for this year, but you know life. If you make a plan, life is like, nope.
Absolutely. That is fantastic. And if people do want to,
Mhm.
purchase any of your work, what's the best way that they can go about doing that?
The best way actually is going over my Ko-fi page because I have subscription options there. You can join my Discord with these subscriptions and without. It's both ways. Um, you can commission something as you like. For example, there's some Halloween related events coming online in about 1 or 2 days for the people who are at the moment paying per subscription, and it will be released for everyone in about 16 days. There will
Okay.
have different scene arts, and the plan is to create your character, existing character, into the scene art. So
Wow, that is you are just on the path to, getting better and better and better and increasing your exposure. And I hope that, you get a few more followers and people, chatting with you and appreciating your work from this interview.
if you
It
want, I will just fastly throw my link over
Yeah,
this
just message
Discord
me. Yeah, in
for my coffee
Discord, just send
page.
me, Elka, all your
Mm?
information. You don't have to do that right now, but at some point, and then I'll throw it in the description box for this
Mhm.
video, and people can find you very easily. And when you do have that coffee table
Mhm.
glossy physical book out, let me know. I
Oh.
want to get a copy of that, and you're going to autograph it for me because I
I will
think you
I will
have
probably
exceptional work. Yes.
die from heart attacks all over the place.
Heart
I'm
attacks
really
of
excited for it. Really excited for it.
Good, excellent. Now, any message, anything you want to say to the people that have been following you over the years and have been supporting you? What would you like to say to those that have been with you from the beginning?
Ooh, I could say so much really. To be honest, art is something that we tend to create for ourselves, but actually we want to show it. We want to make people happy. We want to inspire some people, make their day better with everything. And my community actually really is the solid foundation of why I can live my dream. That's fact. Because those people helped me out in some really bad situations during the past 2 years. They are paying for commissions. They are buying designs in my coffee shop. They are simply there with their pure essence on my Discord server, being derpy, being serious. We are talking about literally everything. And to be honest, my life became so much better with these people inside of it. And I really don't want to miss any of them. So everything I create by now is not anymore meant only for me and for my skills and to get better and stuff. But I always carry this wish to become better, to actually deliver better things, to give better things back, to even going. deeper into a commission and really trying all my hardest to make my commissioners slash my community happy with what I'm creating. And all of my projects by now, it was not like this in the past, but by now are aiming towards giving something back in one way or the other. So seriously, if you're an artist out there, your commission, no, your community, really is your foundation. Cherish it, give back, honor them, because those people, if you give in the hard work and if they are having your back, are the reason that you can later on live your dream as an artist. You cannot be an artist in this world without paying for your rent and paying for your food and stuff, and someone actually need to pay for that. So your community really is not far from you. It's really the closest you have around you. And for me, for example, I created the Nugget Star system on my server, which rewards people. Like when you purchase a commission from me, then you get a specific amount of Nugget Stars that I'm counting every month and writing down. And for these Nugget Stars, you can get discount codes for adaptables or get entire commissions later on. And this way, I wanted to make sure that I can actually give something back, because I have people in my community who wrote me, "Hey, Alka, I just finally got a small mini job to collect money so I can support you better." And I was just like, "You are what?" It was just so heartwarming to me. Or a different example is, I got a friend from Venezuela, and $50 is what he is getting per week, a salary of week. While $50 is in Germany like nothing. You get nothing in Germany for $50. And I was just like, okay, this person is really giving me their all because they want my art for them, for their story, and they're giving their lifetime. That's one thing that I want you to understand. Someone who's commissioning you is transferring their lifetime in form of money and support to you, because they honor your work and they enjoy your company, and you have to absolutely cherish that. It's something so incredibly beautiful, because nobody forces them. Nobody is like, you have to pay Alka to get a commission. No, they are doing this because they want to. And I think, and this makes me a bit sad, some people really tend to forget about that, especially when it comes to all this influencer bubble and stuff. Those are people paying with their lifetime and their money for you to have this foundation to create art and to live your dream job, your dream life. Give it back, one way or the other. With comments, with time, with funny things, with artworks, whatever you can. It's always a circle. And if you're only taking, that's my experience from, let's say, the time before 2019, then you will never have this click moment. Those are not only commissioners, those are not only numbers, those are people out there. And that's something that I fear many people tend to forget. So,
Well, Elka, let me just say you're an amazing, young, talented, motivational artist. And for you to touch the hearts of many of these people around the world, for them to commission or buy your work and support you, you know you're on the right path. You know you're making a difference in this world. All you
I
need to
hope.
do is touch one person's life, and you've touched many with your work. So keep on creating. I hear you when you can't lose sight of the fact that you need to support the people that support you. And
Yep.
too often, once people become too big, too popular, they forget about
Yes.
those that support them. I know with my
Absolutely.
videos, when people leave comments, I respond to every single comment, because if they've taken the time to comment on my videos, I need to take the time to comment back. And I think you're the same way. You give back to your community, and I think that's fantastic.
I think if we could cherish and nourish this mentality of seeing things in circles instead of one-way lines, then things would actually become a lot more enjoyable these days.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Elka, we have reached our time. We have had
So
such a
fast.
wonderful conversation, and I'm so glad that you took the risk and took the initiative. And I want to thank Transcat for
Yeah,
helping set this interview up. What a wonderful member of many different digital communities. Thank you, Transcat, for getting us together here. And any other young artists or old artists or new artists that are on NeonMob that want to have an interview as well and talk about your experiences, please reach out to myself or Transcat. We're on the NeonMob Discord and we can set up an interview as well. I'd love to interview more people like Elka. So thank you, Elka. Any closing comments before we end off here?
closing comments. Yeah, I think I have one from actually from the beginning. If there's any person around you who gives you the feeling that you will not succeed in art and that art is not a way to pay your rent or to get anything done in life, step a bit back and remember one thing: a person always reacts because of what they feel inside of them. If you're succeeding on the things you love, you force people to reflect on dreams they may have put aside because they were too scared or they didn't want to put in the work. And this is, in not gonna lie, in about 90 to 100% the case when somebody is sour towards you because of the things you create. It's because they don't want you to see succeed, because then they have to face their own failures. It's not about you. It's not about your skill, and it's not about your dreams, how big they are, how far away they might be. It's not about you. And if you really let that sink in and take with you in every moment that you show someone your artwork, it gets a lot better emotionally. Not gonna lie.
Very well said. Really well said. Thank you again, Elka. We've taken this journey. It is time for you to fly back to Dresden and enjoy your 12-hour flight. And again, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. And maybe we can get together again, maybe when your third series comes out later
Yeah.
next year sometime. Maybe we can do a follow-up interview and check
Oh,
in
that would
on
be
you and how
cool.
things are going. I'd love to have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
All right.
One last thing. If
Yes.
anybody of you wants to connect because you feel a bit lost in your art journey, my Discord is always open. There are plenty of beautiful people, also artists in there. We have you. You don't need to face all the struggles of being an artist, especially a freelancer in this chaotic world, alone. You don't need to. My invitation is there. My doors are open. Links will follow.
Excellent. So yes, any new artists, any artists that are struggling, that don't feel they can overcome whatever obstacles are in front of them, Elka's gone through that. You are not alone. Elka's faced many obstacles. Reach out to her. She can kind of guide you through. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Elka.
I have to
And
thank you. It was a great
good
time with you.
good luck with that next set of yours. And remember, go vote for her set. Let's get it out there earlier. Join NeonMob if you're not already. Leave a comment on this video. Connect with Elka. So many things that you should be doing over the next few days. Once
And
again,
none of them
thank
cost you something.
thanks again, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Simulation Gaming Digital Realities. And yeah, please leave a like, share this out to other people that you know, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff that helps promote pushing the YouTube video on algorithms, because the more eyes we get on this, the more support we can get for the artistic community. So thanks, Elka.
Absolutely.
Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
And thank you to your community and my community. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.